Welcome to No Budget, the show for filmmakers with no budget by filmmakers with no budget. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Mila Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right, Claire, what's on the agenda this week?
So this week we sat down to watch a film called 1500 Words. It's a short film directed by Andrew Chaplin, written by James Menzies, and starring Marcus Garvey in the central role, and narrated by the famous Michael Smiley. It's quite interesting. It's a comedy, and it's at the start, the protagonist Stanley is told that he only has 1500 words to live. So when he speaks those 1500 words, he'll die. So a doctor tells him that, and then he starts like swearing and getting really annoyed. So his word count goes down, and the doctor has a clicker, and all of a sudden he's left with just nearly 50 words. And the way out, he says to the doctor, "Thank you, bye," and he's like, "Oh sugar, that's 3 more words." So leaving the doctors, he only has 46 words left. He goes home to his girlfriend, and he's like, tries to explain to her visually that he only has 46 words left to live, and he's wondering how best to use them. And so he tries to use specific words, like really fancy words for, like soliloquy. And so she kind of gets a bit fed up, and he tries to communicate with her. And he actually rationalizes that there's only a small part of the relationship where you actually talk, and some other parts are brushing your teeth, some other parts are watching television. And it's, yeah, and then he does it. Their relationship begins to deteriorate, and he thinks that awkward silences, he can communicate with his girlfriend through winking, long meaning eye contact, and punches on the arm. And that doesn't really ring with her, so she gets fed up and they break up. And I probably shouldn't spoil it. Really, I don't know if we could spoil it, but he leaves then, and he goes into, it looks like he's going to a church because he doesn't know where to go. He goes to the forest, and he rings a number in a card that the doctor gave to him, and it's telling him the card, press 1 to leave a message and all different things. And he types in it says in the voice on the phone, type in her name, and her name is Juliet, but he types Jugliet by mistake. And then they said, if you want to send a message to Jugliet, but yeah, I won't spoil anything else, but that's the gist of it.
I don't think there's much left.
Is that much left? I probably did too much.
So that's
summary.
Basically the whole movie.
The whole movie. But the way I wanted to explain it, I just wanted to there's just some brilliant lines in it. I think I watched it, like I've seen it 3 times, and I've laughed out loud every time I've seen it. There's brilliant lines in it. There's lines where he says, I think it was quietness fills the house quietly, like a gas leak. Like, that is just brilliant, and even the way he talks about the awkward silences and having to wink, and the long meaning eye contact, and the punches in the arm, and he punches her and she's like, ow. and even the whole thing when he's in the phone booth, it's just hilarious. And when he gets her name wrong, like, you can just see his world crashing in, and it's Jugliet. Every time I laughed out loud at that. And what really is really lovely this film, for me, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for life, because I think that's what the writer is getting at here. Because imagine if you were told you have a terminal illness and you only have so many days left to live, and you have to go back and you have to use those days, or in this instance words, preciously, because we don't know how many words we have left to say, and how words can be very powerful and meaning and very hurtful as well. So he has to use those words, to with meaning and with purpose. And I thought the whole film is such a beautiful metaphor, and it's told through comedy. And it's interesting as well, the doctor, he he tells them like, oh, you only have this amount of words left to live, and then he goes back and he's writing a letter saying I think he's running away with a nurse or something. So even when he's telling Stanley he's only that many words left to live, he's detached then. I think that is kind of interesting. And I just think, yeah, I thought it was terrific film, very humorous with some great one-liners. So what did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I agree. It did have a lot of fun little one-liners in it. And the key to enjoying this movie is really the suspension of disbelief. Like, you just need to accept that this is the way the world exists and to go along with it. Because if you're questioning it, well, why didn't you just write it down, or why, like that, it's just not going to work. You just need to accept it all, and then that's actually what makes it kind of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's some of the line, the narration, I think, is just is brilliant, because you could see yourself just reading it as just like a short story or something and enjoying it just as much as you do watching it. And yeah, I don't know really what more to add beyond what you said. Like I said, there are parts where you just kind of like, why doesn't he just do this? Why doesn't he just do that? Why not that? And so you do have to ignore that in order to appreciate the film, I think.
I love his frustration, like when he's told, and then he's like screaming, he doesn't realize on the clicker. And then I love as well, there's one scene in it where it shows the words 46 words actually spelled out on a wall. And the fact there's a lot of kind of in comedy, you lead the audience down a path and turn right, left, or backwards. So it's kind of you're leading them. People think you know where he's going. Like this, especially when he's going towards the church and hears the bell, you think he's going to the church. Then he goes to the forest. There's a lot of that in it, and I think this is it's brilliant comedy. And the fact you can laugh every time. And person in the comments section has seen it 5 or 6 times, and they said they laughed out loud every time. So that's rare,
Yeah.
I came prepared, right? Ready?
Oh, a clicker! You have a clicker.
Nice.
Brilliant. How many words do you have left, Carl?
Yeah.
I'll get on screen.
0.
You're out of words.
And give my review in 20 words or less. It was a load of junk. Anyway, I won't finish that sentence. Actually, it doesn't count. It only counts up.
Oh.
I don't know. Did they have a down counter on the film, or did they just do it in post? But I gotta like disagree a little bit with you guys.
Interesting.
It was a very good idea. I love the premise, and it was brilliantly made. But I just didn't find it that funny. I just thought all the humor was very obvious. Every joke I kind of expected, And the thing about not being able to write, that did annoy me. I mean, I think you have to have a certain suspension of disbelief, obviously. Yeah. But I think it has to hold together in some degree. I mean, all it had to do was make her blind or something, or make her illiterate. That would have been solved. But they didn't even try to solve it. Yeah, like I as I said, I just with the Jugliet thing, I knew he was gonna mispronounce his name, and every time he said a word, like you kind of think, idiot, you've only got 1,500 words left, and it just seemed a bit gratuitous, like the way he was using the words, and I thought the scene in the telephone box was kind of good. That was original. Going through that, I like that. Here's some words you can use. Here's some last words you can use. Actually, that was the only thing I thought was actually funny. But the rest of it, I didn't really find that funny, actually, which was the point of the film.
Yeah, it was predictable in the sense that you knew how it was going to end. But we've all experienced calling customer service anywhere and had to deal with press this. So it's that little bit is relatable at the end. Does this take place like in the modern world though? Like, why doesn't he have a cell phone? Why is he?
Actually, see, I what I did was I kind of suspended my disbelief. So I think that's why I laughed out loud. And yeah, actually, 'cause I didn't think about it too much, because if I thought about it too much, again, he could just written everything down
Yeah.
and explained. But I think it's something, a film you'd watch a few times, because someone said again in the comments section, when after watching it 5 times, they think that the wife, they wanted to have a child, but he couldn't say he didn't want to have children. I don't know how they picked that up, but I didn't pick that up. But they said they did in the 5th watch, so that was kind of interesting. But I just love the metaphor of it. I think if you think of how we use words, and we imagine if you were told you only have 46 words left, how would you use them? I just thought it kind of left me thinking. I love when films do that, especially comedies.
I mean, people live their entire lives without being able to speak. So if they're mute, so certainly you could live the remainder of his life with only 46 words left.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's kind of weird if you actually analyze it. Yeah, you do wonder why didn't he, again, in the comment section, people are like saying that why didn't he learn sign language, or but I think you do have to suspend disbelief. And but one thing I thought about this, the pacing was brilliant. Like, I think it was 8 minutes long, but I could watch it again, even a 4th time. But I just thought the pacing was brilliant, and the kind of misdirection. And even the actor, he just played it so well. Yeah,
he was very good. I mean, if you think about it, we already only have a certain amount of words left. Anyway, we don't know what it is, but
exactly,
there is going to come a point.
Yeah,
when the words we speak between now and the time we die will be quantifiable. We just don't know what it is.
It's funny because I thought, no spoilers, but I thought at the end, alternative ending would have been he gets loads of words back or something. I was thinking that route. So it was interesting.
No, I did actually like the way it ended.
Did you? Yeah, I liked it. Yeah,
in a way, in a sort of a way, but again, it was predictable. Like,
yeah,
you thought, he's gonna get. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So, it was a good idea, but I just thought it could have been written a bit better. I mean, that's easier said than done. I know.
Yeah.
I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to do good comedy, but it's we're here to criticize, and that's my criticism. I didn't really laugh.
Sense of humor with what I'm messing. Only messing. Sorry.
I mean, we've heard plenty of your jokes, Cathal. So
So Cathal tells the best jokes, but no one can understand them except Cathal.
Well, I was in a bad mood when I watched it. Okay.
Were you? Oh, okay.
So, I mean, then everything, all the little nitpicking things, did annoy me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't the first time I'd seen it, by the way. So,
right.
So it wasn't. I didn't. It wasn't as if I only gave it one chance and then judged it on that. No, I had seen it before, so yeah, that's. I haven't. My opinion hasn't.
Isn't an interesting point if what mood you're in when you're watching a film, because it can change if you watch the same film in different moods. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Or different stage in your life, and you see things differently. I just think, yeah.
What are you trying to say?
No, I'm just saying, like, just with myself, when I was a kid, say, when you watch films and you don't get stuff, and then when you're older, you watch the same film, and then you're like, that's what I mean. And sometimes it's like innuendo that when you're a child, it just goes over your head, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know what they were talking about, but it is interesting.
Yeah, it does make a difference, the mood you're in. And like you said, how many times you've seen it. Sometimes I did lighting for a play that was a comedy. It was Dracula the musical. And the first time I saw it, it wasn't funny, and this was, of course, during rehearsals and stuff. And but the thing, as it went on, it got funnier. Like, somehow the jokes made sense. Yes. So even the audience members, you could kind of see why they didn't really think it was all that funny. But you could, you just kind of wanted to be, hey, come back and see it a couple more times. Then the jokes will get through. It'll make sense and you'll like it. So this could be like that, where Cathal, you just need to watch it 3 or 4 more times and you'll like it a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes if you're writing comedy, it becomes less funny to you because the jokes, the endings, the thing. So it's kind of, I always find comedy a fascinating thing to work on, and it's you're taking out a risk, in it, and if it works, it pays off massively.
Yeah, and it was nice with this too, how it ended. The whole thing led to that ending. They didn't try to throw a twist ending or something unusual into it. It was believable that that's how it would end, which was kind of nice as well, because you see a lot of shorts where they're like twist ending, like that doesn't work because there's nothing that led up to that twist.
And we have to talk about the lovely voice of Michael Smiley, and even his accent suited it so well. Do you know the kind of the accent? And sometimes voiceover is they take away from a short film, but in this, it just made it. It made it, and his accent and the way he spoke, and the way he read the script, it's brilliant.
Well, I think that pause means it's rating time, or is Carl frozen up?
I don't know. Actually, I thought Carl was in contemplative mood. Okay. I thought he was contemplating.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was in deep thought, like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I got something really interesting to say here.
Any other comments?
Did I just disappear there?
Yeah,
you did.
I don't know. I don't know. I will watch it again. Really, it's were some good to it, and like it was brilliantly well made. But and I can imagine this type of film that does very well in film festivals and so something a bit safe about it. Actually, I would say the humor was all very safe, not cutting edge enough for me.
Okay, yeah, not artsy enough. We need some Dutch angles and weird transitions and stuff. Yeah,
not even that, like with some of the humor.
All right, well, let's rate it then. Carl, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go with this. Yeah, it's between 0 and 3, obviously. But I will give it 2, a generous 2 stars.
Okay.
All right. Well, I am kind of a toss-up between 3 and 4, so I'm going to go 3.5. I did enjoy it, but I can see the flaws in it because I'm one of those people that picks those things out. But it was fun to watch. So 3.5.
So for me, I loved the voiceover Michael Smiley. I thought it was hilarious. I watched it 3 times and I've laughed out loud every time. I know it was a bit obvious, but I kind of suspended my disbelief. And there was a lovely metaphor about the whole film as well. So for me, it's a really good 4 stars.
Well, there you heard it. No Budget listeners and viewers. We are quite divided on this particular film, so you should check it out. We'll, of course, throw a link into the notes, and you can leave a comment or reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at No Budget Show and let us know what you think of the film. And with that, we'll say goodbye and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I love the voiceover with the voice of Michael Smiley. Sorry. So I'll do that once more. I got that bit out. My phone beeped. Sorry.